I want to make sure. Yes, we are recording. Okay, Rita, I'm going to mute again, mute us all. You might be muted. Let me see. And if you are still muted, Rita, yes.
Okay, can you hear me?
Before we start, actually, Rita, I'd just like to say one thing. Because we're recording this session and Don will be evaluating this further after the class is finished, if you do not want to be on camera, go ahead and turn your video off. For those of you that don't mind being part of the video, go ahead and leave your video on. And so we just want to make sure everybody's okay with being videotaped or not. Okay?
I don't think anybody will show, Nancy. We're
Oh,
just
really?
doing Rita. Yeah.
Oh,
I
okay.
think everybody's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thanks. But if you're more comfortable having it off, that's fine too. But I don't believe that anybody will show. You're all set, Rita.
Okay, well, welcome. I want to thank Judy and Don and Nancy and all of you who are in attendance. So, so far we have done preparation and opening, and so we're ready to start the signature move of Young Family form, and that is grasp the sparrow's tail. Grasp the sparrow's tail is actually a series of moves, and it very compactly introduces the first four energies. So you have here ward off, left and right, roll back, press, and push. And today, what we're going to do is start with ward off left. Now, what we should start doing is remind our bodies that we're about to start doing Tai Chi and review the first two moves. I want to do a little test. I am mirroring you. So this is right, this is left. I want you to be able to follow me. So I'm doing this mirror thing. Okay? Now, I want to start by hug a tree. Okay? So I want your feet shoulders width apart, facing forward, and your head should be up, and you should bend your knees just a little bit so that your hips can go down. It should feel a little bit like you're about to sit down on a stool. Then you're going to extend your arms, okay? I want you to feel your back rounded, and you should extend so that you can feel from your spine to your fingertips. So this hug a tree shape is your standard by which you should try to do the whole form. So it's easy to do this while you're standing still, but try to think of maintaining this while you're moving. Okay? So let's try arm circling. Okay? So what I want you to do is lower your left arm so your palm is up. Then turn your right so that the palms face each other. Then squeeze so that your elbow and your palms are opposite each other. Okay? Now open and then close the other way. Open sideways, close. Okay, open, close. So you're lined up, one on top of the other. Okay, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. You see my hands are a little slanted. So the top hand is near my shoulder and the bottom hand is under my elbow. Open, close, open, close. Now you don't want to go too far. You don't want to go like this. You want to go only as far as your elbow with your bottom hand. Okay? Open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close, open, close. Now we're going to try to do it, instead of doing it to the side, we're going to go up and down. So let's say you close, and then the bottom one goes up and the top one comes down. Open. Turn your palms toward each other. Close. Open. One up, one down. Palms toward each other. Close. Open. One up, one down. Palms toward each other. Close. Open. Palms toward each other. Close. Now when you're opening, what you want to do is have as your bottom arm comes up and your top arm comes down, they cross each other. And I want them to cross at the forearm center. So when you're coming down, you want to cross at the forearm center. And when your hand comes down, let's look at this bottom hand. What you want to do is relax your hand, okay? Just let it droop. Then bend your elbow just a little bit and then seat your palm. Okay, that's the shape I want you to have. It's a little bit ahead of your hip. So let's try this again. Close. So you have one hand over the other. Okay. Open. One hand up, one hand down. Turn your palms toward each other and close. One hand up, one hand down. Palms toward each other and close. One hand up, one hand down. Palms toward each other and close. One hand up, one hand down. Palms toward each other and close. One hand up, One hand down, palms toward each other and close. Hand up, one hand down, palms toward each other and close. How do you feel about that? Any questions?
Feels
So
good.
it is a little bit tricky. Yes.
It
What did
feels
you
good.
say, Marion?
It feels good.
Okay, good. Okay, so it's you're going to use this a little bit later. Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to review the first two moves. So you're still standing, shoulders width apart. You're going to put your hands by your sides, like your middle finger on the seam of your pants. And you're going to raise your head up. You're going to soften your knees. Your hips sink down. And this is prepare. Opening. Roll your arms so that your palms face the back. Raise them up to shoulder level. And then press down, leading with your elbows, almost to the bottom. Okay? Let's do that again. Prepare. Hands by your sides. Hands up. Knees soft. Hips down. Opening. Turn your palms toward the back. Raise them up to shoulder level. Press down, leading with your elbows. Almost to the bottom. Okay? One more time. Hands by your side. Prepare. Head up. Soft knees. Hips relaxed. Opening. Turn your hands toward the back. Raise up to shoulder level. Press down, leading with your elbows, almost to the bottom. Okay. Any questions on those? Next, I'd like to talk about the parts of your body in the sense that I want you to turn your head left and right. Okay, turn your head left and right. And I want you to notice that as you're doing this, you can do it without moving the rest of your body, right? Your neck lets you move your head independently of the rest of your body. Now, in Taiji, we divide your body into the lower, the middle, and the upper. And the lower is heavy, and the upper is light. And in between is the middle, and the middle is flexible. The middle is the neck of your torso, okay? So if you think about putting your hands by your hips, okay, to make sure that they aren't moving, then I want you to turn left and right without moving your hips. So that is your middle body acting as the neck of your torso. And this is important because in the Tai Chi classics, they talk about movements being rooted in the feet, developed in the legs, controlled by the waist, and evidenced in the hands. So what happens is your movement comes from your feet, And if your feet are not rooted, then you will not have any energy. And the way that your energy comes out of your feet to your hands is directed by your waist, by your middle body. Because even though you can develop a lot of strength from your lower body, it doesn't have any direction until the middle body channels it. Okay? So, the next part, we are going to work on the different parts of the move of ward off left broken down. I have found that things work a lot better when you have a checklist. So I'm going to give you a 5-point checklist to learn this movement. So we're going to do 5 points with your feet, 5 points with your hands, and then we're going to put it all together. Okay? So let's start with the feet. When you finished opening, you were already shoulders width apart with your feet facing forward. So what I want you to do next is I want you to move your weight to the left so that you can release your right foot. Can you see you can now pivot your right foot because you transfer to the left? So 1 is move left. 2 is turn your right foot 45 degrees. And when you do so, your whole body goes with it. So think about your hips, your whole torso is moving with that right foot. Okay? Now, the thing that's important to remember about that is, yes, your body is moving with your right foot, but your left foot is not. Your left foot is still facing that way. And you want to make sure that your left knee follows your left toe. So as you're turning, what you don't want is you don't want this. Okay? You want to make sure that your left knee follows that left toe. And if your hip flexors are tight, you're going to feel like a stretching here. Because when you have your feet, your knees following your toes, what that does is that it strengthens the quad. So you have this arch here, which is the strong part of your foundation. So it's important that you keep your knees lined up with your toes. So let's try that again. You started with your feet facing forward. You shifted your weight to the left to release the right foot. Then you turned 45 degrees so that the right foot faces what would be your corner. In other words, let's say that you're in a 5x5 box and you're going to face your foot to your personal corner as opposed to the corner of the room, which might be like a rectangle or something. Okay? So try that again. Shift left, turn right. Your whole body is turning right. So 1, 2. Okay? The next move is 3. So 1, 2, 3. So what happens in 3? 3 is you have already turned. And what you're doing is you're sitting and putting all your weight on the right. And at the same time, you're turning your upper body to face the front. So let's try that. So shift left, turn right, sit, and face the front. Okay? Again. Shift left, turn right, sit, and face the front. Again. Shift left, turn right, sit, and face the front. Okay? Any questions so far? We're going to number 4 now. So you have shift left, turn right, sit, and face the front. The next move is step. You're going to step your left foot just in front of where it was. So you're just putting the edge of your heel down. When I say step, what I mean is contact. You just want to contact your heel onto the space directly in front of where you were before. What I don't want you to do is, I don't want you to cheat and come in. Okay? No cheating. Okay? Because if you come in, what happens is you lose the width of your base. Okay? Think of when you have a foundation. Think of a tripod. Okay? If you had a tripod, the wider your tripod is, the more stable you are. Okay? So, I want you to maintain the width of your base. Okay? So let's do it again. So we're going to 1, shift left. 2, turn right. 3, sit and look toward the front. 4, step. Okay? 5 is more complicated. 5 is transfer weight to the front. And how are you going to do that? The front foot is going to go heel, ball, toe, and the knee is going to bend toward the toe. At the same time, your back foot is pushing off to help do that transfer. You're going to have 60% in the front and 40% in the back, as you already know because you know how to do a bow stance. So this is how you get to the bow stance, okay? So think about when you had your just the heel edge there, you're going to go for the left foot, heel, ball, toe, bend knee. For the right foot, you're going to push to help it. Okay? At the same time, your upper body is going to turn back to match your hips. So what happened was that when you shifted weight here, you turned. Everything matched up. Your shoulders and your hips matched. Then when you sat, you faced front, so your shoulders are more toward the front, but your hips are still over there. Okay? After you step and you go heel, ball, toe, and transfer, as you transfer, you're realigning your shoulders to match your hips. Okay? So this is a little bit more complicated. So let's do it several more times. Okay? So your shoulder width apart, you're going to 1, move your weight toward the left. 2, turn your right foot and your body 45 degrees, keeping that left knee facing front. Then you're going to transfer your weight and sit and face the front. Then you're going to step. Put your heel in front of where your foot already was. Okay? Then you're going to transfer weight. So push off the back, heel, ball, toe toward the front. Bend your knee, and at the same time, your upper body is going to move to line up your shoulders to your hips again. So let's just do this one for now. Okay? You already set your foot, your heel down. Okay? You push it off your back. Heel, ball, toe, bend your knee, and turn. So everything must land at the same time. Okay? So push off, heel, ball, toe, turn. Okay? So you're turning at the same time as you are stepping forward. Okay? So just practice stepping forward and turning. So you actually begin your turn as you begin stepping forward. As you're pushing off, you're already starting to turn. So you finish turning when your 60% is in the front foot. Now, the other thing you should remember is when you have your 60% in the front foot, you have to make sure that your knee does not extend beyond your toes. Okay? And the reason you don't want to do that is that that moves your center. So your body is no longer lined up between your feet if you move your foot too far forward. Okay? You want to keep your body between your feet. Okay? So let's just try that moving forward. Okay? So you've done your contact. Your heel edge is on the floor. You're pushing off the back leg. Heel, ball, toe, bend knee as you turn. Okay? Heel, ball, toe, bend knee as you turn. Heel, ball, toe, bend knee as you turn. Okay? Now, when you go heel, ball, toe, bend knee, it's obvious that it's obvious to you if your front knee is matching up to your toe. But at the same time, I want you to pay attention to your back knee. Your back knee must also go in the direction of your toe. So what we don't want is we don't want this, okay? You don't want to have a collapsed knee, okay? Your knee is almost straight in the back, but the knee is facing your toe, okay? So, once again, you've contacted with your left heel, okay? You're pushing off with the right foot, heel, ball, toe, and you've turned so your shoulders are once again lined up with your hips. Okay, so let's try it for the whole count. So, your feet are shoulders width apart. You're shifting to the left. 1, 2, you're turning to the right. 3, you're sitting and facing front. 4, you're stepping with the edge of your heel right in front of where you were standing before. 5, you're going to shift weight. Heel, ball, toe, bend knee. And you're once again facing 45 degrees. Okay? Do you have any questions? Yes? No? Okay. Now, let's work on the hands. So, when you were finished with opening, your hands were almost to the bottom, right? We're going to count that as one. You don't move for the first count. The second count, you're going to open up a little bit. So that's 2. 3 is 1 up, 1 down. So the right hand is up and the left hand is down. 4 is close, just like the closing that we were practicing before. And 5 is open, 1 up, 1 down. Okay? Let's try that again. You were almost at the bottom. Then that's 1. 2, you separate a little bit. 3, 1 up, 1 down. 4, close. 5, 1 up, 1 down. Okay, just as before, when you do 1 up, 1 down, I want once again for your hand, the down hand, to go across the middle of your left forearm, and I want you to pay attention to your hand. Okay, so the hand shape is not with your fingers all scrunched together. It's a little open. You have a little space between your fingers. And you have what's called the tiger's mouth. This is the tiger's mouth. Okay? The tiger's mouth is always open because it shows it's ready to grab. Okay? So, your tiger's mouth, when you finish here, your tiger's mouth is facing the middle of your forearm. Okay? So let's try that again. So you started out here, you opened up a little bit, that's 2, 3, 1 up, 1 down, 4, close, 5, ward off left. So you have your one hand up, one hand down. The tiger's mouth is facing the middle forearm. Your left hand is pretty straight. So if you look at from the side, it's pretty straight. You're coming up like this. And when you look at it straight on, you want to have it slightly tilted up, very slightly tilted up, because the tilt of your hand determines the pressure point on your forearm. So because you want your pressure point not here, but a little open here, you tilt your hand. Okay? So let's work on that. You're almost at the bottom position. Open a little bit. That's 2, 3, 1 up, 1 down, 4, close, 5, left ward off. So this is left ward off here. Okay, the left hand is moving up. And ward off is actually a defining of your space. So Master Yang describes it as the wall that protects your center. Okay, so your when your hand comes up for ward off, the reason why it's coming up on the side is that in left ward off, your opponent is to your side. So that's what determines your hand position. Okay? So let's do the hands a couple more times. So you're almost at the bottom. 1, you open just a little bit. 2, 1 up, 1 down. 3, close. 4, 1 up, 1 down. 5. This is ward off. Okay? Now, let's put it all together. So,
Wait,
you're almost at the bottom here.
I have a question
Yeah.
on
Yes.
your right arm. Just turn to the side because your arm is extended all the way when you're down out there. It's not bent. You said it's straight.
It's pretty much straight. Yep.
Okay.
It's like you're coming up
Okay.
like that.
Thanks.
Okay? Almost always, in other positions, you generally have a more rounded shape. But this particular one, you are pretty straight. Okay? Unfortunately, the first major move is the one with all the exceptions. So, uh, so I'll explain that later on. But let's put it all together for now.
Oh,
Okay?
Rita, John.
Yes.
Can I ask
Yes.
you a question? It's about 3 when we're bringing our right hand up. Does it just come straight, or do we do a little circle out? Do you know what I mean?
You're talking about this one?
Yes, the right hand. When we bring it up, are we circling out a little bit?
When you bring it up. So what happens is this. What you're actually doing is I'm breaking it down so that it matches your footwork. So actually what you're doing is a complete movement like this. Okay? But I'm breaking it down so I'm having 2, 3, 4, but actually as your arms work, you're actually doing this.
Okay,
You see
thank
what
you.
I'm saying?
Yes.
The reason I'm breaking it up is so it matches up with the feet.
Yeah.
So I want, because I want you to get the hands in the position they would have to be when the feet are in a certain position. Okay?
Okay, yeah.
So when your hands are almost to the bottom, that's at the end of opening, you're going to shift to the left. Your hands are still in the same spot. Turn to the right. Then your hands are opening a little bit. Sit. When you sit, you have that one hand up, one hand down position, and you're facing the front. Even though your hips are still going that way, your top body is more toward the front. Okay? Then you're going to step and close. So this was 4. Okay? Then 5 is shift weight and separate. Does that make sense? It takes a little practice. Okay? So let's do it a few more times. Okay? So you're almost at the bottom to begin with. Okay? You shift to the left to release the right. Turn toward the right. Sit. One hand up, one hand down. Step and close. and then shift weight leftward. Do you have any questions? I know it's a lot of moving around. Okay? So if we just do, um, let's just do the very last two moves. So let's do 4 and 5 because they're the most complicated. Okay? So, well, let's just do it from the beginning because then you'll get the sequence all together. Okay? So you're almost at the bottom. You shift to the left. You turn to the right. You sit. Okay? Then step and close. Then push off the back leg. Raise the left hand. Lower the right hand. Okay? Let's do it again. Okay. Hands almost to the bottom. Shift to the left to release the right. Turn. Sit. Step and close. Heel ball toe. Leftward off. How are we doing? I I will grant that it's a lot more complicated than opening. Okay? So let's do it a couple more times and then we will close class. Okay? In fact, we'll do it from the very beginning. Okay? We'll do it from prepare. We'll do it from prepare. We'll prepare, then opening. Hands up, push down, almost to the bottom. 1, shift left. 2, turn right. 3, sit. 4, step and close. 5, shift weight, open.
So you end up with a weight on your left leg.
You actually end up 60-40. So it's 60 in the front and 40 on the back.
Oh, okay.
So when your right leg pushes off, it is giving some weight to the front, but it still retains 40% of the weight. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? Well, if
I do
there
have a
aren't
question.
any questions, yes.
The final position in ward off, are you looking at the end of your hand? So you're looking sort of, and your hand is aligned, so it's basically center line. Is that correct?
No, we should talk about gaze actually. So what happens is that in terms of your looking direction, what you're when you start and you're almost at the bottom, you're looking front. When you shift weight to the left, you're still looking front. When you turn, you're looking to the corner. When you face front, you are looking front. Step and close. You're looking front because you're grabbing your opponent here. But then when you come here, you're looking there because your opponent is to your side and you are pulling down and pushing up. So your gaze moves pretty much where you imagine your opponent to be. Does that make sense?
How is it aligned with the hand? I remember in the past, they mentioned that your gaze should follow the end point of your middle finger of your left hand.
Yes. So yes, you are looking where your hand is, but you're not looking at your hand. You're looking beyond your hand. Okay? You don't look at your hand, you look beyond your hand. Okay? And it is in the direction of, I guess you would call it 3 o'clock.
Okay, thank you.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So the last thing that I forgot to tell you is that in left ward off, unlike many of the other moves, if I'm standing on the side, most of the time you can draw a line from the bottom of your neck to the heel of your foot. And there's kind of a slant. It's kind of like you have this pushing feeling. In left ward off, it's different because left ward off is one of the 3 moves where you are straight up and down. So when you are doing left ward off, what happens is that when you are here, instead of leaning forward, you're going to push your hip in so that you are straight up and down. So that's the final position. The final position is 60% on the front, 40% on the back, tiger's mouth facing the middle of the left forearm, the left arm pretty straight, and you're looking where the arm is pointed.
Rita, could you do that same thing and turn a little bit so we can see the angle of your hips facing us?
Okay, so if I do it this way,
facing straight on, if that's possible.
Facing straight on.
Well, I guess the other direction, that would work, the other direction, yeah.
So yeah, I think it's easier to see this way because what happens is that what you're doing is this. Can you see? Instead of this, it's this.
Yeah, I can see that.
Okay. You. You're welcome. Any other questions? So practice, 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 guys. Okay. And if there aren't any more questions, I'm going to close class. And if you, in the course of practicing tonight, if you have any questions, you can come to the 11 o'clock practice tomorrow and we'll try to figure it out. Okay?
Thank you.
So thank you very much for coming to class.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
good night.
Thank you, Rita.
Thank you, Rita.
You're
That was
welcome.
really good instruction.
Let me ask again, tomorrow's class is at 11, not 10.
Is at 11 o'clock, yes.
Good, then we can do our other exercise too. Thanks.
Okay.
Judy, we don't want to leave you.
That was a really good class.
You'll be all warmed up.
That is why we scheduled it at 9:45, Carol.
Exactly.
That's exactly why. So that I can
Okay.
shoo you off to your practice. All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Good
Thanks.
night.
Thank you. Thanks.
Oh,
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Nice job, Rita.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to stop the recording now.